My wife cut me off for 6 years. Then her family walked into my restaurant uninvited. My father-in-law slammed papers on the table and said, "Sign over 25%, or I call the investors tonight and shut this place down." I stood there, spatula still in hand, watching Richard Whitmore's face turn red with entitlement. Behind him stood my wife, Jennifer, eyes cold and distant. Her mother, Patricia, smirked from the corner. Her brother, Marcus, filmed everything on his phone. My restaurant, Aurelia. The one I'd built from nothing while Jennifer refused to even sleep in the same bed. "Excuse me?" I said calmly. Richard pushed the papers closer. "You heard me, Nathan. 25% ownership. Non-negotiable. I'm the primary investor. Without my money, you'd still be washing dishes." The dining room went silent. Customers stared. My head chef, Marco, emerged from the kitchen, concerned. "You invested $50,000 6 years ago," I said quietly. "I've paid you back $120,000. Plus interest. The loan is settled." "Loans don't cover opportunity cost," Marcus chimed in. "Dad's money could have been elsewhere. This is compensation." Jennifer finally spoke. "Just sign it, Nathan. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." 6 years. 6 years of sleeping alone. 6 years of building this place from scratch while she lived upstairs like a ghost. And now they wanted a piece of what I'd bled for. I looked at the papers. Then at them. "No." Richard's face darkened. "No? Boy, you don't seem to understand your position." "I understand perfectly. You gave me a loan. I repaid it. We're done." "We're not done until I say we're done." He leaned forward, voice dropping to a threat. "I know people, Nathan. The health inspector? Golf buddy? The liquor licensing board? I have their personal numbers. One phone call and this place gets buried in violations." Patricia stepped closer, her perfume suffocating. "We're family, Nathan. Family shares success. Or have you forgotten you're married to our daughter?" I glanced at Jennifer. She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Married," I repeated slowly. "Is that what we call 6 years of silence? 6 years of her sleeping in the guest room? 6 years where she won't even eat the food I cook?" "That's between you two," Richard snapped. "This is business." Marco moved beside me, arms crossed. "Loyal. He'd been with me since day one." "Mr. Whitmore, with respect, you need to leave," Marco said firmly. Marcus laughed, still recording. "Oh, this is gold. Wait till the investors see how you treat family." "What investors?" I asked. Richard smiled coldly. "The ones I'm having dinner with tonight. The Henderson Group. They're very interested in prime restaurant real estate. Especially when they hear about the structural problems I'm about to discover." My jaw clenched. "You have until 9 p.m., Richard said. "Sign or I make the calls." They walked out. Jennifer last. She didn't even look back. The moment they left, Marco locked the door. "Boss, what are you going to do?" I stood there, staring at the papers on the table. My hands shook. Not from fear. From rage. "I'm going to call someone," I said quietly. I pulled out my phone. Scrolled to a name I hadn't called in 2 years. Thomas Brennan. Corporate attorney. We'd met at a food industry conference back when I was just starting out. He answered on the second ring. "Nathan Chin. Long time. Thomas, I need help. Now." I explained everything. The ultimatum. The threats. Richard's connections. Thomas was silent for a moment. Then, "Nathan, do you have documentation? Original loan agreement? Payment receipts? Everything. Signed, notarized, documented." "Good. And the restaurant, it's in your name only?" 100%. Jennifer's name isn't on anything. I made sure of that after year 2 when I realized she'd never support this. Smart. Very smart. I heard typing. "Here's what's going to happen. Don't sign anything. Not a word. Let him make his calls. Let him think he's winning. But the health inspector won't find anything if there's nothing to find. Is your restaurant clean? Spotless? Marco runs the kitchen like a military operation. Then let them inspect. Let them try." His voice turned cold. "Meanwhile, I'm going to dig into Richard Whitmore. Men like him always have skeletons. We just need to find the right closet." That night I couldn't sleep. I sat in the empty restaurant, going through old files, old memories. 6 years ago I was a sous chef with a dream. Jennifer seemed excited then. We'd just gotten married. Her father offered the $50,000 as a wedding gift to help with the business. I should have seen the strings attached. Year 1 the restaurant struggled. Jennifer grew distant. Stopped asking about my day. Stopped coming downstairs. Year 2 we became roommates. Polite. Cold. Separate beds. Year 3 I offered counseling. She refused. Year 4 I asked for a divorce. Her family threatened to call the loan. Claimed I'd never paid them back even though I had receipts. Years 5 and 6 I just worked. Built Aurelia into something special. Michelin consideration. Waiting lists. Success. And now they wanted their piece. My phone buzzed. Thomas. Found something. Check your email. I opened my laptop. His message contained a PDF. Financial records. Richard Whitmore's investment firm. I scrolled through. Then stopped cold. Fraud. Securities fraud. He'd been running a Ponzi scheme for 7 years. Small investors, mostly elderly clients. The SEC had an open investigation but lacked concrete evidence. How did you? I have friends in federal enforcement. Richard's been on their radar. They just needed a witness. Someone he's recently threatened. Someone with documentation. I smiled slowly. Someone like me. Exactly like you. Want to be a hero, Nathan? I want to be free. Thomas arranged a meeting for the next morning. Federal building. Downtown. 2 SEC investigators and a prosecutor. I brought everything. The loan documents. Payment receipts. Text messages where Richard threatened me. The unsigned ownership papers he'd demanded. The lead investigator, Agent Sarah Reeves, reviewed everything carefully. Mr. Chin, your father-in-law has been defrauding investors for years. We've been building a case, but he's careful. Keeps everything verbal. Uses intimidation instead of paper trails. Until now, the prosecutor added, holding up Richard's unsigned contract. This is attempted extortion. In writing. With witnesses. What do you need from me? I asked. Sarah leaned forward. We need you to wear a wire. Meet with him tonight. Get him to repeat the threats. Specifically about shutting down your business, using his connections illegally, demanding ownership. My stomach tightened. He's my father-in-law. He's a criminal, she replied flatly. He's stolen $4.2 million from retirees. People who trusted him with their life savings. Your restaurant threat? That's just how he operates. Intimidation. Control. Power. I thought about Jennifer. 6 years of cold silence. 6 years of her family holding the loan over my head like a guillotine. What happens after I record him? We arrest him. Freeze his assets. Your wife and her family lose everything built on fraud. I nodded slowly. When do we start? Sarah slid a small device across the table. Tonight. 9 p.m. Whatever meeting he demanded. I picked it up. Let's end this. At 8:45 p.m., I arrived at the restaurant. The wire was taped to my chest, hidden under my chef's coat. My heart pounded so hard I was sure they'd hear it through the device. Richard was already there. Jennifer beside him. Marcus filming again. Patricia sipping wine like she owned the place. Smart choice showing up, Richard said, gesturing to the empty chair. Have you reconsidered? I sat down slowly. I want to understand something first. Why now? Why after 6 years? Because you're profitable now, Marcus answered, phone still recording. Why settle for loan repayment when we can own a piece? That's extortion, I said carefully. Richard laughed. That's business, son. You use leverage. I have the health inspector, the licensing board, the investors. You have a restaurant that can disappear overnight. So if I don't sign, you'll make calls? Exactly. By midnight, you'll have 3 violations pending. By next week, you'll be shut down for safety concerns. By next month, the Henderson Group will buy this location for pennies. Jennifer finally spoke. Just sign it, Nathan. Then we can both move on. Move on. I looked at her. We've been moved on for 6 years. This isn't about us. This is about your family bleeding me dry. Richard slammed his fist on the table. Sign the papers or I make the first call right now. Your choice. I reached for the pen. Then stopped. Actually, I have a better idea. I stood up. You want to make calls? Go ahead. Call the health inspector. Call the licensing board. Call whoever you want. Richard's eyes narrowed. You're bluffing. Am I? See, I spent today making some calls of my own. The front door opened. Agent Sarah Reeves walked in, badge displayed. Behind her, 3 more federal agents. Richard went pale. Patricia dropped her wine glass. Marcus's phone clattered to the floor. Richard Whitmore, Sarah announced, you're under arrest for securities fraud, wire fraud, and attempted extortion. What? No. This is. Everything you just said was recorded, I said, tapping my chest. The threats. The illegal use of connections. The conspiracy to defraud. All of it. Jennifer stood up, shaking. Nathan, what did you do? What I should have done years ago. I stopped letting your family control my life. An agent handcuffed Richard. He struggled, face red. You have no idea what you've done. I'll destroy you. Oh. You'll go to prison, Sarah interrupted. We've frozen your accounts. Seized your records. Your Ponzi scheme is over. Marcus tried to run. 2 agents blocked the door. Patricia sobbed. Jennifer, do something. Jennifer turned to me, desperate. Please. He's my father. I looked at her. Really looked at her. 6 years of nothing. 6 years of ice. You made your choice 6 years ago, I said quietly. Now live with it. The agents led them out. 3 months later, I stood in my restaurant during the dinner rush. The place was packed. A Michelin star nomination had just been announced. Reservations booked 6 weeks out. Richard was serving 8 years federal prison. His investment firm dissolved. Assets ceased to repay victims. Marcus faced conspiracy charges. Patricia lost everything, moved in with relatives upstate. Jennifer filed for divorce. I didn't contest it. Didn't ask for anything. Just wanted it over. Our marriage had been dead for 6 years anyway. This just made it official. Thomas handled everything. Clean separation. No alimony. No drama. She moved out of the apartment above the restaurant. I heard she got a job in another city. Started over somewhere far away. I didn't care anymore. Marco promoted to executive chef. We expanded the menu. Hired more staff. Bought the building outright. No investors. No loans. No family strings. Just mine. One evening, a couple at table 7 asked to meet the chef. I walked out, apron still on. This meal was incredible, the woman said, smiling warmly. You can taste the passion in every bite. I thanked her. Returned to the kitchen. Marco grinned. Boss, you're actually smiling. First time in years. He was right. For 6 years, I'd lived in a prison of silence and manipulation. Now I was free. My restaurant. My rules. My life. And it had never tasted sweeter.